Every morning at exactly 7:14, two cats meet at the same window. They don't chase the birds outside. They don't watch the cars passing on the street below. They just sit there, nose to nose, completely still, like they're checking that the other one is real. This has happened every single day for almost 2 years. Rain or shine, sick or healthy, it never changes. Their names are Marmalade and Rusty, and they have never spent more than a few minutes apart since the day they were born. What most people don't know is how close they came to never being together at all. But to understand why this morning ritual means so much, we have to go back to where it almost never happened. Marmalade and Rusty were born behind a bakery on a quiet side street, part of a litter of 4 kittens nobody was looking for. Their mother disappeared within the first few weeks, the way strays sometimes do. Of the 4 kittens, only 2 survived long enough to be found. A baker named Tom noticed them hiding under a delivery pallet one cold morning and called the local shelter. By the time animal control arrived, the 2 surviving kittens were curled so tightly around each other that the workers almost mistook them for a single animal. At the shelter, they were logged as a bonded pair, 9 weeks old, barely 4 pounds combined. For the first few weeks, nobody asked about them specifically. Then a young couple came in looking for a single cat, something easy, something for a small apartment. They were drawn to Rusty immediately, his bright orange coat, his confident strut toward the front of the kennel. Marmalade stayed back, quieter, watching from behind him the way she always did. The couple asked if they could meet Rusty alone in the visiting room. A volunteer carried him out, and that was when everything happened. The moment Rusty was lifted out of the kennel, Marmalade began to cry. Not a normal meow, something sharper, almost frantic. She pressed herself against the kennel door and didn't stop. In the visiting room, Rusty wouldn't settle either. He paced the small space, ears back, refusing every toy the couple offered. When the volunteer brought him back 5 minutes later, he ran straight to the kennel wall and pressed his whole body against it, searching for the gap where her paw usually was. The couple watched quietly for a moment, then thanked the staff and said they needed to think about it. They never came back. A volunteer named Claire happened to be restocking food in the next aisle and saw the whole thing. She had fostered cats before, but never 2 at once, and she hadn't been planning to adopt that week at all. But something about the way Rusty searched for that gap in the kennel stayed with her for the rest of the day. She came back 2 days later and asked to see them both. This time, nobody tried to separate them. Claire sat on the floor of the meeting room, and within a minute, Marmalade was in her lap while Rusty pressed against her side, the 2 kittens forming a single warm shape against her legs. She signed the adoption papers that same afternoon, $60 for the pair, and drove home with both carriers buckled into the back seat, side by side, the way they had been every day of their short lives. But what Claire witnessed that day was only the beginning, and if this story is touching your heart the way it touched ours, please take a second and subscribe. Every subscriber tells us these stories matter. What Claire didn't know yet was how far that bond would be tested. The first few months were easy. Marmalade and Rusty grew quickly, reaching 9 and 11 pounds by their first birthday, always eating from bowls placed side by side, always sleeping in the same patch of sunlight by Claire's bed by late afternoon. In the afternoons, they would groom each other on the bed, Marmalade washing Rusty's ears while he lay completely still, eyes half closed, letting her work. The window in the living room became their place, the one with a view of the street and the rooftops beyond. Every morning, without anyone teaching them, they would climb onto the sill together and sit there in silence, foreheads almost touching, watching the world the way some people watch a sunrise. In the evenings, if Claire stepped out onto the small balcony, one of them would always follow and wait by the railing, watching the door until the other came looking for them. Claire started taking pictures of it without really meaning to, just because it looked like something worth remembering. Friends who saw the photos asked the same question every time. Do they always do that? The answer was always yes. A woman who ran the coffee shop across the street started calling them the 714 cats because she could set her watch by the silhouettes in that window. She told Claire once that on the one morning she didn't see them there, she actually worried something was wrong before she even crossed the street to check. Not most mornings, not when they felt like it, every single morning. If one of them was still asleep, the other would walk over and wait, patient and silent, until they woke up and joined. It wasn't playful and it wasn't loud. It looked, Claire said later, like a kind of checking in, like neither of them fully trusted the day to start until they had confirmed the other one was still there. Then, in the spring of their second year, Marmalade stopped eating. Claire noticed it on a Tuesday, a small thing at first, half a bowl left untouched. By Thursday, the vet found a blockage that needed emergency surgery, and at exactly 9:42 that Thursday night, the vet called to say Marmalade would need to stay at the clinic for 3 full days. What Rusty did over the next 3 days would say more than any cat ever could. At home, he stopped doing almost everything. He didn't eat more than a few bites a day. He sat at the window alone every morning at 7:14, exactly on schedule, and stared at the empty space beside him. On the second night, Claire found him sleeping in the laundry basket where Marmalade's blanket had been left, curled into a shape too small for a cat his size. When she finally brought Marmalade home on the 4th day, weak but recovering, Rusty was waiting at the door before Claire had even turned the key. He didn't cry out or pace like some animals do. He simply walked beside her slowly to the window, sat down, and pressed his forehead gently against hers, the way he did every single morning, except this time it lasted almost 10 minutes. Claire stood in the doorway and watched, and for the first time she understood that what she had been photographing for 2 years wasn't a habit, it was a promise they kept to each other, every single day without needing to be told. Today, Marmalade and Rusty are healthy, 4 years old, and exactly as inseparable as the morning Claire first found them. The window ritual never stopped, 7:14 every day, rain or shine. Neighbors who walk past sometimes pause just to watch it, 2 orange and white cats sitting perfectly still, foreheads together, like the rest of the world can wait. Claire says she used to think bonded pairs were just a category on an adoption form. Now she thinks some animals simply arrive already loved, already chosen by each other, long before any human ever gets a say in it. All she did, she says, was make sure nobody ever tried to separate what was never meant to be separated in the first place. Maybe love doesn't always need words, or even a reason. Sometimes it just needs a window, a few quiet minutes, and someone who refuses to be anywhere else. Do you think animals choose their family before we ever get the chance to choose it for them? Or is that something we decide for them? Tell me in the comments.